Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to talk about how Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 3 was supposedly canned for the Miles Morales Spider-Verse movie. Or movies, as to say. So I got disclaimer. I do enjoy even though this is kind of unrelated but related, I do enjoy Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I do enjoy Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. My favorite Spider-Man movie in the Tom Holland Spider-Man is the last one because it brought in the previous two Spider-Man. I do enjoy these Spider-Verse movies, but so this article kind of interested me. So let's give this a read, shall we? After Andrew Garfield's first film Spider-Man is Mark Webb's The Amazing Spider-Man film series, marked by the successor to the first one, Peter Parker, portrayed by Tobey Maguire in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. Garfield last appeared in a superhero costume in Tom Holland's Spider-Man No Way Home in 2021, which was my favorite Spider-Man movie in the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy, if that makes sense. So far. This came. Then came the Oscar-winning 2018 animated film, feature film, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and then this year, which is currently out by the time I'm recording this, Across the Spider-Verse. After producer Amy Pascal teased a must-awaited live-action Miles Morales movie, garnering the unwavering support of Marvel fans, Andrew Garfield's future as Spider-Man continues to fumble. Andrew Garfield kept waiting for Sony's phone call. Last year, Andrew Garfield appeared on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast and was outright asked by John Horowitz if he been contacted about donning the red and blue costume again. The actor simply responded to 4 words: "Ain't got the call." Andrew Garfield plays Spider-Man in Mark Webb's The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which both came out in 2012 and 2021. Sorry. Both came out in 2012 and then 2014, And later in John Watts' Spider-Man No Way Home, which came out in 2021. The actor might have admitted that he's on the level, but his repeated denial about his involvement in No Way Home did raise a lot of brows. As for Garfield, future as Spider-Man, while John Watts is busy making Wolves, and Sony has had his focus caring for the Miles Morales legacy with Beyond the Spider-Verse and the Miles Morales live action, it is fair to assume that Andrew Garfield's future to don the Spider-Man costume is cancelled. Andrew Garfield's first Spider-Man grossed around $758 million worldwide, becoming the 7th highest grossing film in 2012. Miles Morales' character was voiced by Samuel Moore in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and he is set to lend his voice again in the 2023-2024 sequels. Also, there's going to be 2 more movies, so there's going to be... The Spider-Verse is going to be a saga. Minor spoiler. Into the Spider-Verse? Is that what it's called? Into the Spider-Verse? Across the Spider-Verse, sorry. The end kind of was teased to we ended up on a cliffhanger, and I think it's supposed Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to come out in March of next year. So I thought it was going to be a trilogy that's set and done, but if it's going to be also in 2024, then it's going to be obviously a saga. Okay. The Amazing Spider-Man franchise is overshadowed by Mike Morales' story. Former Sony chairperson Amy Pascal, who produced Spider-Man Homecoming, recently revealed that Sony is set to develop a live-action Miles Morales, promoting Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Amy Pascal responded to the question of whether the 2011 character would get to take up the mantle of Spider-Man. You see all of it. All happened. It's all happening. Well, Andrew Garfield played the successor of the first one, Peter Parker, portrayed by Tobey Maguire. Miles Morales is the second Spider-Man to appear in the Ultimate Marvel. Marvel's African American comic character first appeared in Ultimate Fallout issue number 4, which came out in August 2011. Followed of the death of Spider-Man, and I'm a fan of when Miles does take on the mantle of Spider-Man after Peter Parker dies. Kind of like how the first movie did, because it feels like somewhat of an organic passing on the torch. Either Peter Parker dies or Peter Parker. I don't know their idea. I don't know if they did it. Peter Parker retires to Spider-Man. Miles Morales finding out that okay, Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and takes on the mantle of Spider-Man. I'm just in this situation where I'm a fan of there being one Spider-Man per universe, if that makes sense. So let's keep this going, shall we? Sony's stormy success with Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales becoming the third best-selling game of all time in America, led by the company urges to shift its focus on Miles Morales instead of Peter Parker, as reflected in the big-budgeted Miles Morales project. After the 2018 movie Oscar win, the 2023 sequel delivered the biggest box office opening since its release on June 1st, 2023. It's only fair to suggest that there is no other plan to continue Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man franchise, despite the month success of the actor's 2021 film, which became the highest-grossing Spider-Man film. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was released June 1st, 2023. It's running in theaters. So I think, and they could kind of play into it too, because sure, I would like to see a Amazing Spider-Man 3 and a Spider-Man 4. And I think with what Jamie Foxx or Electro said in the No Way Home, how about there has to be a Black Spider-Man out there? They could play it up, right? Where the Amazing Spider-Man 3 introduces Miles Morales in that universe, right? Gets bit by that radioactive spider, and somehow in the movie, we see maybe Miles Morales is a friend of Peter for a few years, and maybe Miles is just visiting Peter, and gets bit, finds out that Peter is Spider-Man, essentially, and then something happens towards the middle of the movie or the beginning of the third act of the film where Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man dies, right? Miles Morales takes up the mantle and becomes Spider-Man. Or maybe Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man decides to retire and still Miles Morales takes up on the mantle. I feel like we can still, or even if it's halfway through, still, right? I feel like they could kind of play on that a little bit. And then they could lead into the Amazing Spider-Man 4 being Miles Morales being an Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 4. So I think that could work. They could play into that. I don't know. But like I said, I'm alright with Miles Morales being Spider-Man. It's just with the exception of like the Spider-Verse films where it's like Spider-Man from different dimensions. I'm in the camp where there should only be one Spider-Man at a time in per universe. Either kill off Peter Parker or have Peter Parker retire to make Miles take on the mantle. So there's that. So what do you beautiful people have to say? Let me know in the comments section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow mutants later.